y'all, it's your boy John the Liquidator back with another live, and we got a lot to talk about today, bruh. We have to talk about the Browns media going in on each other. I mean, completely losing focus. They don't know whether to root for SHEDEUR or go against SHEDEUR. We finna talk about it all, man. Before we get started, shout out y'all city, shout out y'all state. Let me know where y'all checking this out at. We got a bunch of stuff to get into today on this live, man. Now, we know that there has been a growing debate that Deshaun Watson is about to be the starter simply because he made so much money and they don't really want to see him on the bench. I just got to be honest. Now, we had people like Tony Grossi, like I think a month ago, that was all for SHEDEUR. Well, you know, SHEDEUR, he's not that bad. He's looking pretty decent for the most part. And I'm here to tell you, he's singing a different tune today. Then we got Jason Lloyd completely jumping out the window. Well, you know, I'll take anybody but Deshaun Watson. Now, from what I was hearing, Jason Lloyd was getting a lot of heat outside the internet, bruh. Like, people was damn near pulling up on him, bruh. It was looking spooky for Jason Lloyd. Now, we going to talk about it all, man. Shout out to El Paso, Texas, but definitely shout out y'all city, shout out y'all state, and we cannot forget Mary Kay. We going to talk about Mary Kay today. We going to talk about Mary Kay and the whole diploma situation. You guys don't know, I made a video about that yesterday. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about these content creators switching up. The Cleveland Browns content creators. The reporters switching up on each other. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in Cleveland. We got Broward County in the building, home of the Dunks. Drop the ass in the back of the trunk, home of the Dunks. We got Kentucky in the building. Plainfield, New Jersey in the building. Who else in the building, man? Shout out them cities. Shout out them states. Oh, yeah. And be sure to like and subscribe to the tribe, man. And definitely let me know how y'all feel about the channel, man. We on the road to 30K. Trying to be at 30K before the end of the month, bro. I ain't lying. We could do it. I need 7,000 subscribers. And I know the power of YouTube, man. You can have a 10X type month. 10X month. Now, we got to talk about this Jason Lloyd situation, man. Because I came across this today. And I normally don't watch the Ultimate Cleveland Browns show. But this right here came down my feed today. And I found it to be, shout out to my city, St. Louis in a building. See the shirt, baby. I'm always representing the city. South Carolina in the building. Shout out to you, Douglas. All right, man. So we all remember Jason Lloyd, right? Let me show y'all who Jason Lloyd is before I play y'all the clip from today. So Jason Lloyd was this dude right here, right? Now, Jason Lloyd took it upon himself to have a different take today. But before we get into the Jason Lloyd take from today, I want to show y'all the old Jason Lloyd because we can't forget about this version of Jason Lloyd, bro. Because I'm telling you, I think the heat was so big on Mr. Lloyd, he had to damn me go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? Maybe me giving a bad take on SHEDEUR just really wasn't a good idea. I just got to be honest. Shout out to St. Louis, my city in the building. Cleveland in the building. What's going on with y'all city in Cleveland, man? Like, what's going on with the reporters, man? And I'm going to show y'all some clips. Shout out to the homeboy JK. He tracked down some receipts of a lot of these Cleveland Brown reporters going at the quarterback. This is something that y'all been doing for a mighty long time. Like, a mighty long time going at y'all quarterbacks. I mean, damn, bruh. This is like y'all thing. So, Jason Lloyd, right? We all remember this, right? Let's play it.
He still doesn't know what he's looking at.
And so SHEDEUR Sanders is going to read. He's going to look back at that safety, try to hold that safety back foot, and boom. And look at where he throws it there, right down the middle of the field.
He still doesn't flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot.
SHEDEUR knows he's hot. All right. He trusts just enough 39 to get that block. He moves a little bit, sets up, sees it, throws a strike. Okay, down low, away, so you don't kill your receiver.
This isn't me saying this. I'm not an NFL. I've never claimed to be an NFL coach. This is people in that building will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open.
Does it look like there's anyone open right here? Just look. I'll pause again. There's no one open, but he's able to fit this ball in between these two defenders. Really nice throw, meaning he doesn't even have to do anything. He just puts his hands out there and Santa's just giving presents out. 1, 2, 3, no hitch, ball. That's a perfect throw between these three. Awesome job.
This is not the answer. These last 2 weeks were the opportunity coming off the Titans game to show that he can be the guy against playoff contenders, and he has not lived up to it.
But this little movement right there, that's sweet, man. Not even looking at the pressure. You just move, eyes still downfield, right? QB vision cone. Eyes are still downfield. Try to find this guy. Makes 50 miss. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Grown man. Easy throw. Easy catch. Nice start. Give him some confidence.
Now, we all remember that, right? Please tell me y'all remember all that stuff Jason Lloyd was saying. I mean, he was saying a lot. He can't read coverage. He don't know what he's doing. I'm here to tell you today. Oh, Jason Lloyd different. Oh, Jason Lloyd. He like, hold on, wait a minute, man. It's too hot in the kitchen. It's too hot in the kitchen. Because, you know, I feel a different type of way about SHEDEUR Sanders. I feel a different type of way. He definitely feel a different type of way. Now, let's listen to Jason Lloyd today. This is from today, right? Let's listen.
My whole thing with this has been, what are you trying to get out of this? Where are you trying to go? Under no circumstances would I ever give Deshaun Watson another contract if I'm the Browns. And I agree with you. Even if you did give him one, I don't think he would take it. I don't think he would sign it. So what are we doing here? What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish with this? You're trying to win games. I get it. Are you trying to win games, or are you trying to eventually win a Super Bowl? Because those are two different things to me. And if you're just trying to go out there and win the most games that you can win this year, okay, fine. Play Deshaun. Maybe you're going to win an extra game or two, and then you're going to get to the end of the season, you're going to say, well, now what do we do? Because we didn't play SHEDEUR, and we got these quarterbacks coming to this draft, so what is it that we're supposed to do? So there is no case to make as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I know I've been hard on SHEDEUR, but I've been consistent on this since last season. If you're telling me I have to choose between Deshaun and SHEDEUR, there's no comparison. I'm playing SHEDEUR.
Ah! Grossi! It got too hot in the kitchen. He said going against SHEDEUR is not the right move. That is basically what Jason Lloyd is saying. He's insinuating. You know, it's not a smart thing to go against SHEDEUR anymore. And I know I've been critical. Oh, I've been very critical of SHEDEUR. But today, oh, damn. Bro said, I gotta watch it again. Now, shout out to DC, shout out to my city, St. Louis. Hey, look, look. I told y'all, they so phony. They so damn phony. You can't believe nothing these people say, bruh. It got too hot in the kitchen for Jason Lloyd. Run it back real quick. Run it back. Listen to this, y'all.
Make as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, I know I've I've been hard on SHEDEUR, but I've been consistent on this since last season. If you're telling me I have to choose between Deshaun and SHEDEUR, there's no comparison. I'm playing SHEDEUR because I want to see. I don't think the odds are high, but the odds are higher than me giving Deshaun another contract because those are zero.
I ain't lying, y'all. Look, listen to him. Now, this is 90 days.
Still doesn't know what he's looking at.
And so SHEDEUR Sanders is going to read. He's going to look back at that.
Get that. Okay.
Will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open.
This the same dude. This the same dude. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm sorry to be laughing like this, but I can't make this up. It's so funny. It's so funny that these Cleveland Brown reporters is so flip-flop. They don't know what the hell they're doing. At this point, I ain't lying. Y'all. But as for Tony Grossi, oh my God. Listen to Tony Grossi today.
Do you think they're about what people think, that they're worse than people think, or they're better than people think?
Well, I got fooled last year. I thought they were better than what people
we gonna get who
at
got
least at the beginning of the year.
I mean, the defense was good.
But you know, you can't predict what happened to the offensive line. On paper, they should be better than what people think. They're not the 30th. Everything about this team, the external impression is based on the quarterback position.
I agree. And by the way, a lot of that is fair because it's one of the worst quarterback rooms.
I mean, everyone's image of Watson is the worst quarterback in the last how many years, and SHEDEUR had sparks, but his numbers say he was one of the worst. We'll have to let that play out.
Now, this was Tony Grossi, right? On May the 1st.
Tony, if you had to handicap it now, Watson has taken the lead, correct?
Sure. He's the first out of the gate.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's only natural because this is a mental, until they got in the field, it was a mental competition. And he's got loads of experience to absorb the playbook and to change systems and to adapt to new language in the playbook. That Dylan, Gabriel, and SHEDEUR don't. They will in a couple of years have that same skill. But it's only natural. And if he's totally healthy, Watson's a better athlete than either of them.
Tony?
Now that's Tony Grossi, bruh. That's Tony Grossi. Now, listen to Tony Grossi back in December, right? Listen to this.
When it comes to SHEDEUR, he's completing 52% of his passes. 65% is the NFL average. He completed 72% at Colorado. He's down 20%. That's more than any rookie quarterback is down this year. So I think what we're talking about is far from a finished product for sure. And I don't know if there's enough evidence to commit to him at this point, no matter who's making that decision. There really has been no major advocate for SHEDEUR in the building, starting with the GM. I don't think 7 games is going to be enough to change their minds. I think they felt they were going to get their franchise quarterback in a future year, not this year. When it comes,
now this was back in December, right? So let me see. Shout out to JK. This was, December 18th. Now there's another clip to go with this, right? Now this is Tony Grossi. Letting us know back in December pretty much that Deshaun Watson was going to be the quarterback. Nobody in the building had faith in SHEDEUR Sanders with what they seen thus far at that present time. Now, I did a video earlier, if you guys didn't see it, breaking down how people were saying Kevin Stefanski knew that this was going to happen to SHEDEUR. that they wasn't even going to give him a chance. But let's listen to this clip right here, y'all.
He never met a camera he didn't like. And it just seems like being out of the limelight right now as QB3 on a Cleveland Browns team struggling to score points, he's really missing the viral moments. I laugh about it because I don't take him too seriously anymore. After that Rams game, I need evidence that he could play. All the pro SHEDEUR fans, and they're passionate about their favorite player, they think something like that is going on. They cannot believe there are players on the team at his position that are better than him, okay? They just won't accept it. They don't believe it. They're just like his dad. He doesn't believe Flacco and Gabriel can play better than his son.
Guys, this is Tony Grossi. Now, we all heard Tony Grossi, right? Be very insightful when it comes to SHEDEUR in these last recent clips, right? That have been coming out. And something I have been noticing from the Cleveland Brown media is that a lot of these reporters are being flip-flopped. Something I said earlier today, right? Is that when it comes to them, they're going to have to switch their takes because they have to align themselves. They have to align themselves with the current agenda that the Cleveland Browns front office have in place. Now, here's another clip from today, right? Let's listen to this.
How would you grade the Todd Monken hire?
We're grading him basically on press conferences. So we did see one voluntary minicamp practice.
His transparency, I think, has been a big boost.
There's going to be a change. He's gonna learn that everything he says ends up in a headline.
How would you grade his ability to avoid dysfunction?
He's obviously sensitive to the image of this team being dysfunctional.
Yeah.
And that stemmed from the Jim Schwartz situation. You lost a pretty good assistant coach, a real good one. Yeah. And now part of it was his fault. That could have been resolved somehow, or it should have been resolved.
If Deshaun Watson is named the starter by Todd Monken, that it's going to be an ownership decision.
This is where Haslam is a victim of his reputation.
Now, there is a growing notion, just like I told y'all the other day, whenever I did my live, right? These reporters have to be getting this information from somewhere that Deshaun Watson is going to be the starting quarterback. Now, just like I said the other day in the live, D. Haslam is friends with none other than Mary Kay, Hall of Fame reporter Mary Kay, right? The Haslams are single-handedly spearheading these headlines because they already knew back in December that Deshaun Watson is going to be named the starter. There isn't a secret. Everybody in the Cleveland media knows it. And at this point, they're creating this drama to get clicks. But guess what? The clicks are going to run out for the Cleveland Browns reporter because come training camp, when Todd Monken he has to name Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback, whether he want to or not. We gonna see how some of y'all favorite damn reporters do their show. Because they can't be, because if they're for the Browns, they have to hype up Deshaun Watson. Point blank, period. They can't sit up here and say Deshaun Watson did bad. SHEDEUR would have did better. Watch what I tell you. That is going to be the narrative moving forward with a lot of these Cleveland reporters. Come August, September, October, all this pro SHEDEUR that they've been having, these people, they are going to be switching their takes because they got to be pro Cleveland Browns. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's why we have to pay attention to these people and keep all receipts moving forward. We have to. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I promise you, verbatim, they're going to switch their takes come August and September. They're going to say Deshaun Watson is light years better than SHEDEUR. And y'all are going to be like, damn, we thought you was one of us. We thought you was part of the SHEDEUR, hold your wrist up, chin up, chest out movement. And I'm trying to explain to y'all. That's why I'm doing these lives, to let y'all know before it happens, because it is going to happen. Pay attention. They have to go align with the ownership vision because they have media credentials. It is a politic game. Hell, the shift might even happen in July. I promise you. They are not going to get on here and say that SHEDEUR Sanders would have been better than Deshaun Watson. Now, something that we have to pay attention to is the preseason games. I promise you, we have to watch those preseason games like a lot of y'all watch the Pick 3 lottery. Like y'all watch the mailman on check day. We have to watch the preseason games because we get a chance to see both of them play. During the preseason games, we're going to see Deshaun Watson and we're going to see SHEDEUR Sanders. We are going to have something to go off of. And I promise you, in those preseason games that's going to be coming out, we're going to see for ourselves as fans who is the better quarterback. Now, with that being said, I think, right, this is my opinion because I ain't got no sources. I ain't gonna lie. I have no sources as of right now up in Cleveland. Hell, I don't think anybody do if you ain't from up there. Because here's the thing, right? If you got a source for in Cleveland, you can't really believe the source. You feel me? Because they're not really letting you know the real. So in order to really have a source in Cleveland, you got to damn near have a player that's the source. And then with the way the media looking right now and Andrew Berry them, they ain't really letting the media know a whole lot, which means to tell me that if you possibly tell the media something, you could very much be fined by the team, probably, allegedly, behind some backdoor rules, right? Right? So, with that being said, it's real hard to take on what they saying. Now, I done showed y'all clips of how flip-flop they is. They hella flip-flop. You can't even believe half the shit they say. Now, me personally, going back to the preseason games, I believe if SHEDEUR Sanders ball out in these preseason games, which I think he will, he very, very much will, ball out in these preseason games, they're going to still start Deshaun Watson. I repeat, if SHEDEUR Sanders balls out in these damn preseason games, which I think they're in August, the first part of August, they're going to definitely, verbatim, still start Deshaun Watson. This is my belief, though. This is why I believe they're still going to start him. SHEDEUR Sanders come out looking hella good, right? Balls out. SHEDEUR, named starting quarterback. You want to know what that means? SHEDEUR got a very high chance of getting them damn near to the playoffs, if not the playoffs, right? Now, if they make it to the playoffs, that's going to ruin any chance of getting Arch Manning, because we cannot forget about the Arch Manning rumors that was coming out at the beginning of last season. Arch Manning, 80% sure is going to be the number 1 overall pick, right? If they get Deshaun Watson, right? I mean, when they start Deshaun Watson, right? Because they going to start him at this. I'm convinced that they going to start Deshaun Watson, bro. I just got to be honest. Like, everything points to me in that direction of them starting Deshaun Watson. I just got to keep it 100. Because I ain't going to get on here and lie to y'all. I ain't going to get on here and lie. What's your question? I am 504. What is your one question that you want to ask? Now, with that being said, what the Cleveland Brown media is going to have to do then is still hype up Deshaun Watson, justifying them making a decision to keep him as the starter. That's what I believe is going to happen. I'm telling you, damn near verbatim. It's going to happen, bro. And it's going to look spooky when it happens. So don't shoot the messenger. Look, I just be trying to keep it 100, because I'm telling y'all right now, you cannot believe these damn Cleveland Browns reporters. Now, shout out to the homeboy JK over on Twitter. He did a great thing today, and he shared a lot of the buffoonery these reporters be doing. Now, this whole live is going to be about the Cleveland Brown reporters lying. Now, listen to this one, right?
As I reported last week, right now, at this moment in time, he is ahead in the competition.
I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices.
SHEDEUR basically would have to come from behind and overtake him.
What I've seen after 3 days, okay, that gives us a little bit of a 40,000-foot view of where we're at.
SHEDEUR will get plenty of reps, I would think.
It's always changing.
You have to get your starter ready to play. You just have to.
You've got to start to target towards who's going to start opening day. And now that can still change.
Whoever wins the job is the quarterback that they feel can best get them some victories. This is not about development. I can promise you that.
We're in the development business and the winning business. And anything that gets in the way of those 2 things have to be confronted and eliminated.
I've watched enough of these to know how this goes.
What I've learned over the years in coaching is your job is to let it play itself out.
As I reported last.
Now, that was Todd Monken pretty much putting to bed all of this lady, Mary Kay, decisions. Now, do I believe Todd Monken want them to compete for this starting job? Yes, I very much believe so. Do I believe Todd Monken is a by-the-book coach? Yes, I believe so. Do I believe Todd Monken is going to say, hey, you know what? Let's have these guys battle it out. Stay out of this, Jimmy Haslam. Stay out of this. Let's let them battle it out. Do I believe that's the case? Yes. But I also believe Todd Monken is finna get a reality check come July. Because I keep telling y'all, Shedeur Sanders is going to look better than Deshaun Watson come game time reps and when it get to scrimmaging and all of that. It's just facts. He is. He's going to look better. He's going to look more fluid. His throw's going to look better. His accuracy is already better. Now, with that being said, Todd Monken might say, hey, I want to start Shedeur. They're going to say, Todd Monken, sit your ass down. We finna start Deshaun Watson. Todd Monken going to be like, damn, like, y'all going to let me coach? I'm telling you, this is how it's finna go. I'm dead serious. This is how it's finna go. And Todd Monken going to be looking like, damn. So I've been lying to the people. So now y'all finna make me look bad. Because once it come out that they named Deshaun Watson as the starter, Todd Monken is going to then have to explain why he picked Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders. And if Todd Monken is the real one, he gonna simply say it was Jimmy's decision or it was Andrew's decision. It wasn't my decision. If he a real one. Because I'm telling you right now, when it come out that Deshaun Watson will be named the starter, guess who they gonna pass the buck on? Here. Ask Todd Monken. I'm telling you, that's my theory. I think that's what's going to happen. Todd Monken don't know yet. He thinking that they playing with him. He thinking that, you know what, Todd, we're just going to let you pick. We're going to let you coach. We're going to let you do this. Come July, reality's going to settle in. Jimmy's going to come down there, rubbing his hands together like Birdman and say, you know what, Todd, Deshaun Watson the starter. He gonna look like, huh? What? Damn. Just like, huh? I'm telling y'all, that's how it's gonna be. Watch. I can promise you. See, Todd Monken probably don't want to believe that that's the case right now. He probably don't want to believe that they finna do him like that. But they is. Because listen to this.
Camp, just the first one, obviously. So can you kind of share how did Deshaun and Shedeur and Dylan look Now you get all
We just couldn't get past the draft and get right on to back to the quarterback. Anybody got some Miles questions too while we're at it? I mean, hell.
So he clearly getting frustrated with the Cleveland Browns media.
Left tackle.
Yeah, are you concerned that he hasn't played that in a couple of years at all?
He clearly is. Now, we finna play some more clips, right? Of Cleveland Brown reporters insulting quarterbacks. Black, white, blue, or purple. Now, shout out to the homeboy JK for tracking all of this stuff down. Now, listen to this. Now, this is when Deshaun Watson was the starting quarterback.
Looking back at, what you guys did through the offseason training camp, what gives you the confidence that this isn't, a sign of things to come?
Because it's 17 more weeks. At the end of the day, football is definitely something that, we got to take very, very serious, and it's our job, it's our career, but, there's other things that's bigger than this. I lost my dad Friday. I lost my brother, my teammate yesterday, DeAndre Overton, he's only 26 years old. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long week. They gave me an opportunity to go back home, but, I told them I wanted to be with my guys.
I'm sorry to have to ask stuff like this, but how hard must that have been to, to lose your dad?
Yeah, I try my best to just, try at least 3 hours to separate the two. I'm not going to use that as an excuse of why we play bad, but yeah, it was definitely a lot of, a heavy heart.
Jameis seemed like he had a lot of encouraging words and some uplifting messages for you. Can you share some of what he talked to you about?
Yeah, I don't want to share too much because it was very personal.
Looking back at, what you guys did through the offseason.
Now, that was them after the man daddy died, right? After the man damn daddy died, they continue to do this. Hold up, wait. We got another Tony Grossi clip. Listen to this.
You brought up character. It seems like the theme of this class, like when they were talking about who they were taking, high character guys. Is that a shift from Andrew Berry? Because obviously in the past we've seen him take some risks on guys who maybe don't have high character.
Yeah, I mean, you could take risks on guys in the 5th round.
You have Deshaun Watson as your projected starter at quarterback.
I don't need a source to tell me what I think might happen. If Watson stays healthy, he's gonna emerge as the starter. The entire organization is anxious to see, quote, the new Watson. He's head and shoulders got the most physical gifts of any of the quarterback. Well, other than Taylor Green.
You brought up.
Now, with that being said, Tony Grossi is getting ahead of the storm. Now, I can promise you, this take that Tony Grossi just did, this is the same take a lot of these Browns reporters are going to have come August. Only difference with Tony Grossi, he's getting ahead of the storm. I told y'all, they're going to say that that Deshaun Watson is light years ahead of SHEDEUR. I can promise y'all, this is what they're going to do. I've been a YouTuber for 5 years. 5 years covering sports. Over 90 million views. I've been around. I've seen these credential reporters go with the narrative that the organization wants them to go with. It's their job. I can promise you, these reporters are going to systematically hype up Deshaun Watson in a way that convinces the Browns fans, not SHEDEUR Sanders fans, in a way that convinces Browns fans that making him the starter was a justifiable decision. They're going to justify making Deshaun Watson the starter. I promise you, y'all. Promise you. Now, when this happens, y'all gonna have to show me some love, bro. Y'all gotta show me some love. Because what's gonna happen here is that moving forward between now and training camp and preseason, we're going to see the Cleveland Browns media beef with each other because that's what they're doing right now. They're beefing with each other because they know there's going to be a shift in the coverage, not only of SHEDEUR Sanders, but of the Cleveland Browns, because they have to get ready for the 2026 season, y'all. They got to get ready for this. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. They have to make a decision. They have to pick a side for the local fans. They don't give a damn about us SHEDEUR fans for real. They just need us to watch their videos and read their articles because they know in a hot second, it's about to get real. It's about to be real in the field for the Cleveland Browns media, bro. And it's sad. It's sad that now, something I said earlier, right? I stated that I believe next season could very much be SHEDEUR last season in Cleveland because I believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to draft a quarterback in 2027. They're going to try to tank this season, right? So if they try to tank this season, which I believe they will, because they're going to do it by starting Deshaun Watson. Now, I want to play y'all this clip right here. This is another clip from today. Watch the media shift.
Clean slate with the coaching staff because they didn't previously work with him, but the film doesn't lie, and neither do the results. What professional athlete gets a clean slate in anything these days when being evaluated by their play on the field? Look, you want to criticize Kevin Stefanski and rip his offensive design apart and say that he was part of the reason why Deshaun has faltered. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and get into a fight over that. But guys, many of the things that have limited Deshaun Watson have to do with Deshaun Watson, in my humble opinion, no longer being a quality starting quarterback in the National Football League. I hope to God he proves me wrong. I hope this clean slate thing works out. But you don't get a clean slate.
You keep it at 100.
That's not how anything works. You have not performed up to standards. You haven't even performed up to half the standards thus far. And unless Todd Monken is a miracle worker, which he would be if Watson is a top 15 quarterback in the league, through 3 weeks of the upcoming season. But I'm sorry. Clean slate, get out of here with that. He might have.
They keeping it 100. Now, I don't know this reporter name. I don't believe he's a Cleveland Brown reporter. John Feta and Jay Perlin on Talk Around. Whoever that dude was, he kept it 100. How the hell you going to get a clean slate? A clean slate in the National Football League. But there's more. There's more. Listen to this.
Well, just because it went so bad with Watson when he was able to play, and then since then he had the surgeries. I asked Coach last week, are you supposed to be an objective, impartial observer, like they instruct the jury? How can you come in here and act like that hasn't happened? I mean, a new coach, how can they separate themselves from all that bad tape and try to find a way to either pin that on situation and that they can coach that out of them?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that all gets done. I think you have to kind of come in tabula rasa, just a clean slate, and let them just compete for wherever they're at, whatever age they are, whatever injuries they've overcome, whatever off-the-field issues there have been. I just think you got to try to make it as fair as possible and evaluate from what you see. I think Todd Monken remembers when Deshaun Watson went to Baltimore on one leg and beat him, a couple of years ago. I think Todd was probably the offense coordinator there in Baltimore. He probably witnessed it. I was there that day. I saw it. I didn't think it was really possible, but he made some incredible plays, some incredible athletic plays that day. And I remember his ankle was terrible, or knee, or whatever it was. I know he was hobbling at the end of the game. But, he found a way to win. So I think it's just the only fair thing to do is just to, literally not have any sort of memory bank of what's happened before and let them – that's why he's there still. They still think there's some football left in him, and let the best man win the job right now. And I think that's what they're going to try to do with as much clarity as possible.
Bro, they're tanking. I believe the Cleveland Browns is tanking for one reason and one reason only. Now, y'all remember me telling y'all about this Arch Manning thing? Guess what just came out about an hour ago? Since I don't know what I'm talking about, since I'm lying, since I'm just talking to y'all, right? Guess what just came out about an hour ago? Let me read this to y'all, right? Shout out to the Dogs Podcast. Look, it's been reported that it's the Cleveland Browns that really caught my attention. If I'm Arch Manning, given the family history with Eli, I think I want to play for who? The Browns, who, by the way, already have a great defense. Now, me and the Kings picked the Browns as the best situation for a rookie quarterback in 2027. Now, before we get into the second part of this, right? Now, everybody was talking about the Cleveland Browns draft, right? See, the Cleveland Browns draft has been set up the last 2 years for the 2027 quarterback. They're putting themselves in position to plug and play an elite quarterback in their mind because they already got the elite quarterback in SHEDEUR. See, if they was confident in SHEDEUR, all of the draft picks, everything that they have, there's no question that SHEDEUR Sanders should be the starter. They have pretty much an elite offensive left tackle, elite wide receivers, an elite defense, automatically, systematically make them damn near a playoff team with SHEDEUR being a quarterback. After week 1 with Deshaun Watson playing, we going to clearly see he is garbage. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep playing him for this reason right here, to not win football games, to tank. And I'm telling you right now, Cleveland Brown reporters are not going to say anything about SHEDEUR. Nothing. There is not going to be any hype for them to play him. Not whatsoever. Because they need to lose a certain amount of games, just like they did last year. Just like they did last year. A certain amount of games to get him. They want him. And that's why I believe if they get a chance to get Arch Manning, count your days with SHEDEUR Sanders remaining in Cleveland. Bro, this would be 3 years SHEDEUR got a battle to be the starter? 3 years in a row? 3 years in a row? Y'all really think SHEDEUR finna? I want to leave. Let me leave. Y'all don't think, y'all, like in y'all brains think SHEDEUR is finna ride the bench for 3 years? Hell no. I promise you. I can nearly guarantee you SHEDEUR Sanders is going to want the first plane ticket Louis bag packed out of Cleveland after the 2027 season. If they draft another quarterback and make him, damn me, battle again. Because now it's clear. Y'all using me, man. And I strongly believe that's what they're going to do. SHEDEUR's in a lose-lose situation right now, bro. Think about it. Think about it. They are trying to use him for the Sanders name. And look, dude, talking about you lost me. I'm keeping it 100. Look, I like to foreshadow the future because when things happen, I can get back on this same very microphone and be like, you know what? I told you. I told you. This is what about to happen. Now, let's finish reading this Arch Manning thing, right? Now, it goes on a question. The question was based on Jordan Reed's way too early mock draft. Reed has the Cardinals, Jets, and Browns all taking quarterbacks in the top 4 picks. Now, how the hell do they know the Browns is going to have a top 4 pick, right? How do they know that the Browns is going to have a top 4 pick in the 2027 draft? How do you remotely know? How do y'all know that the Browns is going to have a top 4 pick? Now, it goes on to say, if I'm Arch Manning, right, given the family's history with Eli, I think I want to play for the Browns, who, by the way, already have a great defense. Now, let's check out some of these comments. This person said, but the Browns already have SHEDEUR Sanders, who, according to Browns fans, is the best quarterback. Exactly. He said, I've literally heard 0 Browns fans ever say that. See, look, now the Browns, now I mess with the Dogs podcast. I truly do. I definitely do. But they don't even like SHEDEUR. Now, it goes on to say, Kim's is a casual. She's like the kid who didn't pay attention in class, says the most irrelevant things. The Browns will be playoff team that will never sniff the top 10. What the F is the obsession with trying to send every available quarterback to Cleveland? Somebody else said, to be honest, the Browns never was this much talked about until SHEDEUR Sanders. Exactly. And the media constantly keeps wanting more quarterbacks. That's what I keep telling y'all, bro. Wasn't nobody thinking about the Browns? And let's say SHEDEUR leaves, right? Because I'm still on the bandwagon. SHEDEUR need to get the hell out of Cleveland. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. I'm sick of these fake-ass Cleveland Brown reporters making all this money, getting all these views, and they fake as all get out. They fake as all get out when it comes to SHEDEUR. I promise you, you will never see me on any Cleveland Brown reporter platform. I don't give a damn. I ain't rocking with you. None of them. None of them. They fake as all out, get out. Now, something else I want to talk about in this footage right here, moving on to the next part, is because I'm going to show y'all how flip-flop they is. Now, this is the Browns, the Dogs podcast, right? Damn, I went too far. Give me a second. Now, they released some footage. They have released some footage of none other than Deshaun Watson. And they say, yep, week 1, 2024, Justin and I were at the season opener versus the Browns versus Cowboys. We looked at each other, and I don't think he could play football anymore. Deshaun Watson, 0 for 10 with on passes of 15-plus yards. Watch this. Now, this is Deshaun Watson, right? Doing. Look. This is Deshaun Watson. Look at this. This is the film. He wasn't even hurt on any of this. He wasn't even hurt on any of this footage I'm showing y'all. This was in week 1, 2024. Hold on, bruh. Look, I might, bruh. Hold up, wait. Now, this is from today. Let's listen to the Ultimate Cleveland Browns show.
In an ideal world, not only would it be 100% performance-based, but it would be clear to those making the decision. It'd be clear to the other players in the locker room. And whoever outperformed the other guy would take the job and run with it and grow with the locker room and grow with his coaching staff and all that. But one of the reasons the Browns don't live in an ideal world is because 4 years ago they made the worst trade in the history of the NFL, right? And so this guy's still on the team because you can't afford to cut him, so it's not ideal. So how it's going to go, I don't know. I can't imagine that any decisions were made based off of 3 days of minicamp in April. Now, Jason and I have been hearing for months, they want to play Deshaun, they're going to play Deshaun. Sometimes we talk to the same people. In a lot of cases, we don't. We know what's out there. I can't imagine a scenario, though, where anything's really been decided already based off what they've seen. So 2 weeks from today, we get the start of OTAs, and we will see. But, we are hearing things out there that they've decided that Deshaun is going to perform better, and we'll see where it goes. In an ideal world, not only would it...
See, the Cleveland media is gearing up. They're gearing up for the Deshaun Watson hype train. They want us to hype them up. But they're going to have to hype them up themselves. Look at this. Who is better recently, right? 7 games, 1-6. 7 games, 3-4. Look at this shit. Passing yards, 1,100. Passing yards, 1,400. Yards per game, 164, 175. Touchdown passes, 5. Touchdown passes, 7. Now, y'all know the old saying, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Look, interceptions, 3, right? Interceptions, 10. Why did SHEDEUR Sanders have 10 interceptions? Can we please explain that to me? I think we all know why SHEDEUR Sanders had 10 interceptions. Because y'all wide receivers are hot garbage. That's why SHEDEUR had 10 interceptions. Because y'all wide receivers look like they got baby oil on their hands. They was at the damn Diddy party. That's why SHEDEUR had 10 interceptions. They was at the Diddy party with the baby oil. They didn't even have butterfingers. They had baby oil fingers. Especially Jerry Jeudy. He was at all the damn Diddy parties. He brought the damn baby oil back to the locker room with him. I ain't lying. Now, sacks 33, sacks 23. And mind you, in 2024, Deshaun Watson had a better offensive line than the one SHEDEUR Sanders had. So his O-line was better than SHEDEUR's O-line, right? Rushing yards, 148. Rushing yards, 169. And SHEDEUR Sanders ain't even a running quarterback, bruh. Now, yards per scramble, 6.3. Yards per scramble, 9.3. What is we saying, bro? Look at this. I ain't lying. These are facts. These are facts, bro. Yes, he was at the Diddy party. Look at 10 interceptions. Look, all 10 wasn't even SHEDEUR's fault. I ain't lying, bro. I ain't lying. Y'all synced that. Y'all know y'all synced that. Don't let me go get the receipts. Don't let me go get the receipts, bro. Deshaun was a bust. Dylan was a bust, dude. SHEDEUR is what the team needs. Exactly, man. SHEDEUR is what the team needs. Because I'm telling you right now, y'all do Deshaun Watson, I promise you. Look, roll the footage. Roll the footage, man. We got to go back to the footage, bro. Because men lie, women lie, the footage don't lie. And I ain't even no footage reacting ass dude. I ain't lying. But hell, a 5-year-old can see this dude trash. Look, bro. I ain't lying. The casual fan could see this right here, hot garbage. Rhoda was the first game of 2024. Who the hell is he throwing it to? Go back, bro. Watch this. What the hell? Dylan Gabriel look better than him, bro. I ain't lying. No, dog. Oh, no, dog. Dylan Gabriel look better than him, dog. Watch this. I ain't lying. Y'all see this shit? Look. And it's the same dude. They trying to convince us is better than SHEDEUR, bro. I ain't lying, man. Cause to me, it's getting to the point where it's very, very distasteful as a SHEDEUR Sanders fan to know and think that they're remotely about to do this to this young man, dog. Could you imagine being SHEDEUR, waiting your whole life to go to the NFL, then get drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and they did this to you? Bro. Just think, bro. When all of us was heading all the way up to Boulder, popping bottles, living a dream. You couldn't tell us SHEDEUR Sanders wasn't going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Especially when he went into Brady mode. Dog. You couldn't sit up here and tell me, I be damned, sitting on the sidelines, watching greatness transform right before my eyes, that Deshaun Watson was going to be starting over SHEDEUR Sanders, bro. I ain't lying. Because it's clear as day, that's what they finna do. I'm convinced. Bro. That's what they finna do. I don't care what nobody say. They finna start Deshaun Watson, man. It's about to get real. It is about to get real. Listen to this, y'all. I want y'all to listen.
Performance alone. They are making this decision based on performance alone. They're not making this decision based on quarterback development, and they're not making it based on what they need in next year's draft. They're looking out there and they're making their decision based on who is going to give them the best chance to win games this season. And what they are seeing right now in practice, and what I actually saw on the first day of voluntary minicamp that was open to the media, was I saw what looked to me like a quality starting quarterback out there in Deshaun Watson, someone who had done the job before, understand it, understands it, operated efficiently. He was, and I wrote that day, that I wrote that he won day one. And then he came back on the days that were closed to us, and he had ended up earning the starting reps. And he was going first based on what they had seen. And so what I've been hearing is that he emerged from that voluntary minicamp ahead of SHEDEUR standards. And at this point right now, he has the inside track to win the starting job. And I just tweeted after that, after I wrote that breaking news, after that, I just said, if that's going to be the case, then you might as well just go and declare him that sooner than later, as soon as possible, because they've got to get this first team offense working together. They cannot wait until the end of training camp to let those guys cook and get all their work together. It's got to start happening now if they want to look like a functional offense in 2026.
Now, this is the same dude. I got to play it again. Look at this shit. He said, from what I see in practice, he better than SHEDEUR. Bro, I ain't lying. bro. I ain't lying, dog. My goodness. And I'm going to close the live out playing this video right here, dog. Now, with all of that being said, Cletus Calvin, get the hell on, bruh. Get down in the comments section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Y'all know me. Gloves off. Unapologetically me. Raw. Uncut. Been the same for the last 5 years. And